Sup, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. It's going to focus in on the disaster, the debacle, the train wreck that's been the Pittsburgh Penguins, who, after changing coaches last week, still suck. I mean, they're just not getting the job done. Because I know they beat Columbus last night, and they did so without Sidney Crosby in the lineup. But it's just like, are you kidding me right now? With how bad this team is, they're in I think 12th place in the Eastern Conference. They're only 4 points out of a playoff spot, but it's a big 4 points. They got a lot of teams to jump over. There's a lot of time, but it's like, what the fuck has gone wrong with this team? I mean, I went into the year and I drank the Kool-Aid. I was like, all right, between Crosby, Morgan, Kessel, Letang, and Flower, there's so much high-end talent on this team, and they've got a really good mix of really good depth in the organization. I think they're one of the deeper Penguins teams they've had, in a while. Between guys like Benino, Daniel Sprong looked good for a hot second there. Hornquist, just really some good pieces. And I talked about a little bit in the Hornquist piece. They don't know what they're doing. Jim Rutherford sucks as a GM. He sucked in Carolina, and he's continuing to suck in Pittsburgh. So let's not ignore the obvious, but at the same time, it's like, no one on this team's averaging a point per game, and you've got three players that are, three truly elite players. And Chris Letang has, been struggling. He's been banged up. Crosby missed the other night with an injury. Is Crosby still dealing with, nagging injuries? That's that's definitely a possibility. It's very likely, in fact. And you just say to yourself, what does it have to do? What do the Pens have to do to get back on track? And it's not. There is no easy fix. You don't just hit a button and say, all right, situation's resolved. They're up shit's creek. And I mean, Flower getting hurt hurts them even more, considering he's, for the first time in a long time, their strength. I mean, his play hasn't been the detriment that's led to them losing a lot of hockey games. But, again, you just got to put one foot in front of the other, and hope your high-end talent rises. And the whole time they've been struggling, my, just psychological justification of it was like, all right, there's too much talent here for them to be this bad. They're going to bounce back and figure it out. And the bottom line is just hasn't been there. And, you got to, might be some tough decisions to make. Do they make a big trade? I'm not advocating trading, Crosby or Malkin. I think right now that's foolish, but you got to do something. You can't just let the team continue to play at this level. It's unacceptable. And I was never a Mike Johnston guy, so showing him the door. And I'm usually not a fire the coach guy, but in that circumstance, I felt it was 1,000% justified. And I think, I don't know how good of a fit Mike Sullivan was when it happened. He's 1-3, and the Bruins dominated them last week at home and home. It's like, shit, nothing's really going right. So, we'll see what happens for Pittsburgh. It's just they have a lot of work to do, not only in the standings but figuring out, an identity of this team. There's a major identity crisis, and the Eastern Conference. Luckily, still some not so great teams they can jump over, but we'll see how it all works out for the Pens. Anyway, that's all I got this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for more episodes for the season and beyond. Later, guys.